What if the heart of Heartland never truly comes back, but his spirit still lives on in every frame? That's the question season 19 is forcing fans to face as the trailer makes it more and more clear that Ty Borden may never return. His absence is not just a missing character, it feels like a missing heartbeat in the show, one that every fan still longs to hear again. Yet, instead of ending his story completely, the show seems to be finding new ways to carry Ty's essence forward, leaving us wondering how his legacy will continue to shape the ranch and the people he loved most. Ty Borden's journey was never simple. From the moment he first arrived at Heartland, he carried scars from a troubled past, but he transformed that pain into strength, love, and loyalty. He grew from the quiet boy working at the ranch into Amy's true partner, a father, and the kind of man who left a lasting mark on everyone around him. Fans didn't just watch his story, they lived through it. They cheered when he found happiness, and they cried when tragedy struck. Losing Ty wasn't just losing a character. It was losing a piece of Heartland's soul, a piece of Amy's heart, and a piece of the future we all imagined for them. Now, season 19's trailer makes it painfully clear Ty's return is not in the plans. For some fans, this feels like reopening an old wound. After all, his death already created one of the most emotional storylines in the show's history. But his memory hasn't been buried with him. Instead, it lingers in the way Amy still speaks about him, in the way Lyndy asks about her father, and in the way the ranch itself feels like it carries his spirit. Ty is gone in body, but his presence still shapes every choice, every moment, and every new chapter at Heartland. Amy's journey especially shows how deep his influence runs. She has faced loss before, but losing Ty was unlike anything else. For a while, her story was about survival, getting through each day, keeping herself and Lyndy strong. Over time, though, Amy began to heal, not by forgetting Ty, but by carrying him with her in every step forward. The trailer teases more of this in season 19, showing Amy once again stepping into her role as a guiding force for the family. And while she stands strong, you can see that strength is built on everything Ty left behind. It's his love that gave her the courage to rebuild. For Lyndy, the impact is even more powerful. Growing up without her father physically by her side means she learns about him through stories, memories, and the quiet lessons Amy passes down. Every time Amy talks about Ty's bravery, his kindness, or his way with horses, Lyndy is learning who her father really was. In a way, this is how Ty's legacy continues. It becomes part of Lyndy's foundation, shaping her into someone who carries his light into the next generation. Even the ranch itself feels different without him. Heartland was always more than a place. It was a home where Ty and Amy built their dreams. Without him, the silence sometimes feels heavy, but it's also filled with echoes of the past. Every corner of the ranch holds memories, from the barn where he worked to the fields where he rode. The trailer shows shots of these familiar places, and fans can't help but feel Ty's absence as strongly as his presence. It's bittersweet, because while he isn't there, it reminds us that he will always be a part of the ranch's story. This is what makes the question so emotional. How do you move forward when the person who defines so much of your world is gone? Heartland doesn't give an easy answer. Instead, it shows us the messy, painful, but also beautiful reality of loss and healing. Ty may never return, but season 19 promises to keep his memory alive, not as a ghost of the past, but as a living, breathing influence that guides Amy, Lyndy, and everyone else into the future. If Ty Borden's absence leaves a hole in the story, then Nathan's arrival feels like the show's attempt to gently stitch that wound without pretending it never existed. From the trailer of Heartland season 19, one thing is clear: Nathan isn't here to replace Ty, but his presence carries a sense of continuity, almost as if fate brought him into the story at the exact moment when Amy and the ranch needed someone who could carry forward the values Ty left behind. Nathan has always been a character full of quiet strength, and in the new trailer, you can see how the writers are giving him more space to step into the spotlight. He's not a loud or dramatic figure. Instead, he moves with calm confidence, the kind of energy that fits perfectly into the Heartland world. His connection to Amy feels natural, not forced, and there's a tenderness in the way he interacts with both her and Lyndy that shows why fans are starting to pay close attention to him. It's not about romance, not yet, maybe not ever, but about the way he reflects some of the same qualities that made Ty unforgettable. What makes Nathan unique is that he doesn't carry Ty's history, but he carries his own scars and lessons. He's had his share of struggles, and that's what gives him depth. When he talks to Amy, it feels like he understands the weight she's carried since Ty's passing, not because he's trying to take that place, but because he knows what it means to live with pain and still choose to move forward. That kind of understanding builds trust, and in Heartland, trust is everything. The trailer hints at moments where Nathan takes on bigger responsibilities at the ranch. You see him helping Amy with the horses, stepping into situations that test his patience and his loyalty. These are not grand gestures. They are small, meaningful choices that show he's willing to be part of the family's journey. In a show like Heartland, those quiet acts of devotion speak louder than any dramatic twist. They remind the audience that love and legacy are not always about replacing someone, it's about continuing the work they left behind. Another important part of Nathan's role is how he relates to Lyndy. Ty will always be her father, but children need guidance in the present, and the trailer shows glimpses of Nathan being that supportive figure. It could be as simple as helping her ride a horse or listening to her questions about life, but each moment carries weight. It's in these interactions that you can see how Nathan might become a bridge between Ty's memory and Lyndy's future. For fans, this is one of the most emotional threads to watch unfold. Of course, this doesn't mean fans are ready to see Nathan as the new Ty. That comparison would be unfair and unrealistic. But what the writers seem to be crafting is something more subtle. Nathan as a man who embodies the same spirit of compassion, courage, and loyalty, while still being his own person. He isn't trying to live in Ty's shadow, he's simply walking alongside the memory of a man who shaped Heartland in ways no one can forget. This is what gives Nathan's story so much potential. He isn't just a character filling a gap. He's a character who represents the idea that life goes on, even after unbearable loss. He shows that new bonds can be formed, new stories can be written, and yet, none of it erases the past. Instead, it honors it. In many ways, Nathan is becoming a symbol of resilience, someone who mirrors the audience's own journey of holding onto Ty while learning to accept that Heartland must evolve. As season 19 unfolds, fans will likely debate every moment between Nathan and Amy, every word he shares with Lyndy, every decision he makes at the ranch. But no matter how the story goes, one truth is clear. Nathan is no longer just a side character. He is stepping into a role that carries the weight of Ty's legacy while still carving his own path forward. When the season 19 trailer begins, one of the most striking things is how naturally Nathan fits into the rhythm of Heartland. For years, fans have wondered if the show would ever dare to introduce a character who could stand beside Amy in a meaningful way without erasing Ty's memory. And now, the trailer seems to answer that question. Nathan isn't written to replace Ty, but instead to walk alongside his legacy. He is like a new branch growing from the same roots, carrying the values that Heartland has always been built on: loyalty, compassion, and family. Nathan's role is carefully woven into the story, and that's what makes it so powerful. He doesn't storm into the ranch trying to prove himself. Instead, he becomes part of its daily heartbeat, helping with the horses, supporting Amy in her work, and slowly building a bond with Lyndy. The trailer gives us glimpses of this bond, moments that are small but filled with meaning. A smile exchanged, a word of encouragement, or simply being there in times when Amy and Lyndy need steady support. These moments might not be dramatic, but they feel real, and that's why fans are paying attention. What makes Nathan stand out is the way he approaches Amy. He isn't trying to fill the impossible void Ty left behind, and that humility makes his presence stronger. When he works with her, there's a sense of respect, as though he knows she has been carrying the weight of loss and isn't looking for someone to erase it. Instead, Nathan seems to understand that grief is something you live with, not something you erase. His patience with Amy reflects a kind of quiet wisdom. He knows when to step forward and when to give her space, which makes his character far more layered than just a man who comes after Ty. Another important part of Nathan's role is his influence on Lyndy. Ty's daughter is growing up fast, and she's at the age where she needs guidance, stories, and role models. The trailer hints at tender moments between Nathan and Lyndy, scenes where he seems to offer her the kind of encouragement that can shape a child's confidence. For viewers, these moments will likely be some of the most emotional, because while Ty's memory is alive in Lyndy, Nathan could become someone who helps her walk the path her father never got the chance to finish. The writers also seem to be setting up Nathan as a character with his own struggles, his own scars. He's not written as a perfect man who shows up to fix Amy's life. Instead, he feels real, someone who knows what it's like to go through challenges and still stand tall. That relatability is important, because Heartland has always been about ordinary people facing extraordinary challenges with resilience. Nathan's imperfections might be exactly what makes him such a believable addition to the Heartland family. What fans will debate, of course, is whether Nathan's presence will ever cross the line from friendship and partnership into romance. The trailer doesn't give a clear answer, and maybe that's the point. By leaving their relationship undefined, the writers are allowing viewers to interpret Nathan's role in their own way. For some, he will always be a friend and a supporter. For others, he might be a potential partner who helps Amy discover that love can exist in more than one chapter of her life. Either way, his role is carefully balanced, never forcing the story, but letting it unfold naturally. In the end, Nathan's role in season 19 feels less about taking Ty's place and more about carrying forward what Ty stood for: strength, kindness, and family. He is becoming part of the healing process, not by replacing the past, but by helping Amy and Lyndy build a future. And in that way, Nathan isn't just another character. He's a reminder that even after deep loss, life finds a way to move forward. And sometimes new people arrive not to rewrite the story, but to help it continue. Heartland has always been about more than horses and ranch life. At its core, it's a story about family, love, and the way memories shape the future. Season 19 continues that theme in a powerful way, showing us that even when someone we love is gone, their legacy never truly fades. Ty Borden may no longer be there in person, but his spirit is still guiding Amy, Lyndy, and even Nathan as they step into the next chapter of their lives. The trailer makes this message clear: Heartland is about honoring the past while still moving forward. One of the strongest parts of this legacy theme is Amy's growth. She's not the same person she was when Ty was alive. She's stronger now, not because she wanted to be, but because life forced her to face loss head-on. Every choice she makes now carries Ty's influence, whether it's the way she trains horses, the way she raises Lyndy, or the way she protects the ranch. Ty's voice might not be heard, but his lessons echo through Amy's actions. That is what makes his legacy so powerful. It isn't about replacing him, it's about carrying him with her in everything she does. Lyndy, too, is a living reminder of Ty's legacy. She's young, but every season shows her becoming more curious, more independent, and more connected to the land and the horses. She doesn't just carry his name, she carries his spirit. The way she looks at the world, the way she asks questions, and even the way she starts to form her own bond with animals, it all feels like Ty's love is still alive inside her. The trailer teases moments where Lyndy looks up to Nathan, and that adds another layer to the theme of continuity. It's as if Heartland is telling us, Ty's story isn't over, because Lyndy is writing the next chapter of it. Then there's Nathan, whose role in this theme is subtle but important. He doesn't need to replace Ty to carry his legacy. Instead, he becomes someone who helps keep Ty's values alive. His patience, his kindness, and his respect for the family are qualities that reflect what Ty stood for. Nathan's presence shows that legacy is not just passed down through blood, it's passed down through shared values, through the lessons we learn from those who came before us, and through the people we choose to let into our lives. Even the land itself plays into this theme. Heartland has always treated the ranch as more than just a setting, it's a character in its own right. Every field, every fence, every trail carries the weight of memories. When Amy and Nathan work together with the horses, or when Lyndy runs through the same fields her father once did, it feels like Ty is still part of it. The ranch holds the past while nurturing the future, making it the perfect symbol of legacy and continuity. But perhaps the most powerful part of this theme is the way the show doesn't shy away from the pain of loss. Heartland reminds us that moving forward doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean replacing someone who's gone. It means carrying them with us in new ways, letting their influence shape who we become. For Amy, for Lyndy, and now for Nathan, Ty's memory isn't a shadow, it's a light that guides them through the dark. This is why season 19 feels so emotional for fans. It's not just about what happens next, but about how the past continues to shape the present. Ty's legacy is alive in Amy's courage, in Lyndy's growth, and in Nathan's quiet strength. Heartland isn't letting us forget him, it's showing us how love and memory can ripple forward, touching every life, every story, every moment. And in that way, Ty Borden may be gone, but he is never truly absent. No Heartland storyline has ever divided fans quite like the question of Ty Borden's absence and Nathan's rising role. The season 19 trailer dropped and instantly sparked waves of discussions across fan forums, Facebook groups, and comment sections. For some viewers, every second of the trailer was a painful reminder that Ty may never return, reopening old wounds. For others, the focus shifted to Nathan, whose growing presence has started to create an entirely new conversation. Is he being set up to continue Ty's legacy, or is the show taking Heartland in a completely different direction? One of the most common reactions has been bittersweet nostalgia. Fans continue to post clips and edits of Ty and Amy together, reminding everyone that Ty's love story is the foundation Heartland was built upon. Many argue that no character, not even Nathan, should ever be allowed to stand in that space. They see Amy's journey as one of holding onto her past while protecting her daughter, and they want the show to respect that by never forcing a new love interest into the picture. These fans believe Nathan's role should stay supportive, a reminder that not all relationships need to be romantic to be meaningful. But another wave of viewers has embraced Nathan with open arms. They point out how naturally he blends into Amy and Lyndy's life, how his presence feels comforting rather than intrusive. For them, Nathan isn't erasing Ty, he's adding a new layer to the story, helping Heartland evolve instead of staying frozen in grief. Some even speculate that Nathan's growing bond with Amy could slowly shift into something more, not as a replacement for Ty, but as a new chapter that honors the past while allowing Amy to embrace the future. These fans argue that life moves forward, and Heartland has always been about growth, healing, and resilience. There are also intriguing theories making the rounds. Some fans believe Nathan's storyline is deliberately mirroring Ty's early seasons, his struggle to find a place at the ranch, his growing bond with Amy, and his connection with horses. They suggest that the writers are planting seeds for Lyndy to see Nathan as a mentor, someone who could teach her lessons about responsibility and kindness the way Ty once did for Amy. Others speculate that Nathan may play a crucial role in Lyndy's development, becoming a steady figure in her childhood, even if he never becomes a romantic partner for Amy. A few fans have gone even further with their theories, suggesting that Nathan's arc might be tied to deeper themes of redemption and second chances. In Heartland, every character carries scars, and Nathan's are still somewhat hidden. Could his personal story eventually intertwine with Amy's in ways we don't yet see? Could his struggles help Lyndy understand resilience and courage, the same way Ty once inspired Amy? These unanswered questions fuel endless speculation, and the trailer only adds fuel to the fire. Of course, not everyone agrees on where the story should go. Some fans remain fiercely protective of Ty's memory, declaring that no one can ever step into his place. Others are excited by the idea of Amy finding new companionship, insisting that moving forward doesn't mean letting go. The split reactions show just how powerful Ty's impact still is and how carefully the writers must handle Nathan's arc in season 19. What's undeniable is that this conversation keeps the fandom alive. Theories, debates, And predictions make every episode more engaging because fans aren't just watching, they're participating in the story by imagining where it could lead. Whether they want Amy to remain Ty's widow forever or hope she finds new love with Nathan, every fan is united by the same thing: a deep emotional investment in Heartland's world. And that's what makes season 19 so powerful. It's not just about what happens on screen, but about how it stirs the hearts and minds of everyone watching.